Recently, I found out that Buck Angel featured me in one of his videos and thumbnails about gender horror surgeries, which, don't get me wrong, he is completely free to make and to put me in that if you do make content about your surgery, especially about lower surgery, and if you start getting a few thousand views, you do have to kind of accept that people might react to it. And although there were a lot of negative connotations, like in the thumbnail putting a shocked face and the word horror next to a picture of my leg, which by the way is just a completely normal, well-healed scar for this kind of surgery. I don't actually have any problems with my leg. My leg is actually doing really well. He didn't actually say anything directly bad about me or say that I shouldn't be allowed to get this kind of surgery. So the reason I'm making this video is more to clarify myself, because from the comment section I can see that there were a lot of misconceptions, and I do think a big reason for that is the way that Buck clipped the video. It was a fairly short video and he did include most of it, like showing my leg, talking about the sensation loss, like showing my leg moving in different ways, but then he stopped the video directly when I then said that my leg isn't in any pain and does function normally. He also cut out the clarifications that I made at the end, which were that I'm nearly 30 years old. I was a consenting, informed adult. I do not have any regrets whatsoever. I actually knew about the sensation loss and the scarring beforehand, and this was not like a surprise complication, and that I intentionally gave up feeling in one area to then have it in another, which was very successful. Because all of this was cropped out, his audience did seem to think that I was having some awful, painful complication with my leg that I wasn't prepared for, and it's so sad that someone like me would now have to suffer these consequences for the rest of my life. But yeah, those are definitely misconceptions. That's not true. My leg is doing great. I actually had stage 1, which is the bit where they took the skin from the leg. That was in July 2024, so quite a long time ago now, and I have my mobility and flexibility back. I can go to the gym, I can run, I work 8-hour shifts, sometimes 12 plus hours on my feet. I don't have any issues. I do everything that I could do before, and if anything, I'm actually more active now. Some people in the comments were also assuming that I'd had my muscle removed, or that it had been badly damaged, or part of it had come out, or anything like that. That's also not true. My leg functions normally because my muscle was unaffected. They took the skin and then the fat from underneath. This surgery didn't use my muscle at all. I think that's the danger of making up assumptions, and I think people think if they make up an assumption about someone's body and then type it into the YouTube comment section, it then magically becomes true, but that's not how reality works. My leg is not destroyed just because someone typed that it was. I think the way my results were presented as gender horror surgery, or gender surgery horror, can't remember which way around that was, but I think that gave the viewers the impression from the get-go that I'd been butchered and botched by a bad surgeon and things going horribly wrong, as if my surgeon just mindlessly cut me up and made mistakes, and now my leg is destroyed forever, like this comment here. But actually my surgery was carefully planned out first. It was all marked out on my leg beforehand, even down to microsurgery where they connect like tiny little nerves, which takes hours and is incredible in my opinion. That surgery all went to plan, and I am very pleased with my results. I'm more pleased than I even imagined being. I can understand you want a thumbnail that people will click on, and I'm not too mad about that. Like, I wasn't upset when I saw it, but I can see how that led to my experience being misrepresented. The main thing I try and do with that content is just provide a real life example of what this surgery can be like. And this is just my real body and really how it healed, and everyone will heal differently. But I do find it strange that I often get the opinion that this is a particularly bad, awful, ugly scar, even for this kind of surgery, such as this comment here. But then, at the exact same time, on the other hand, I get people saying that I'm glamorizing this surgery, making it look better than it is, to try and get people to join me and try and encourage kids to get this done and stuff like that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. If this is a shockingly ugly, repulsive, mutilated body that I have, and I show it, how would that then convince people that they should get the surgery as well? I know that Buck Angel himself very firmly does not want phalloplasty, which I respect, and that's completely fine. But doing the job that he does with making reaction content about trans people, I do think it's very likely that he has seen a few ALT phalloplasty scars in his time. So I don't really understand what would be so shocking about my scar in particular, because for me this is pretty much what I expected it to look like. This is just a normal ALT phalloplasty scar. I didn't have any complications with it. They didn't use any experimental methods. It healed as I expected in the time frame that they said it would. I think that might be because I don't have like a gym bro type body. I don't post pictures of myself in like the best possible angles and like I showed the video like all the way around with my leg moving to try and show people what it does look like, especially if they're considering getting this surgery. But yeah, maybe because I'm not as muscular as other guys, it might make people think that my results are worse. But surely then that's a good thing for other skinny guys looking to get this kind of surgery. They can look and see how the scar looks on a leg that isn't very muscular. Like, how is that a negative thing? If they see it as a negative and they don't like how it looks, then they can just not get it. Like, I'm not forcing anyone to get the surgery. I can understand how the numbness in my leg might be surprising to people at first, but then again, isn't me raising awareness about that a good thing? If people know that that would freak them out and they absolutely don't want that, again, okay, don't get it then. And I'm not saying that I'm doing some like amazing good thing and deserve praise either. I'm just saying surely raising awareness about this would either be a good thing or just neutral and you wouldn't care. I can't see how it would be a negative thing. And like I said, at first the leg sensation thing, that might be kind of shocking, but surely once you understand the logic that this was something I knew about first, thought about for years and made the informed decision to get, to give up sensation in one area so that the nerves could be taken so that I could have sensation in another area, and then that was very successful and now I don't have any regret. Is that really still shocking and awful? Like, it's just me being happy with my body. For me personally, the sensation or lack of sensation on my upper thigh has never been that important for the happiness in my life. It was absolutely not a loss that I had to mourn. As soon as I knew that I would lose some feeling in my leg, I knew, yep, I'll be okay with that. And now that I do have some sensation loss in my leg, yep, I'm fine with it. So I was right, and it is all just about knowing yourself. Knowing yourself is the most important thing, which is why this surgery is for informed adults that have taken a long time to think about it, and it's not for kids or for people to just decide on a whim that that's what they want. Similarly, I knew that I could not handle the urethral lengthening process, and I decided not to get that. I knew it would not be a risk that's worth taking for me personally, and I feel like I made the right decision again. I do still feel firm pressure in my leg, by the way. It's just like gentle touch on my upper thigh, just in that area, that I can't feel. Sometimes it does feel a bit weird, but that's about it. I think some people know that they couldn't personally handle that, but then they can't comprehend that my mindset is different and that I can personally handle something that they couldn't, which is odd to me because, like with the urethral lengthening thing, I knew I couldn't handle that, but when I see someone that does and that goes through that process, I don't think, well, I can't handle that, so you shouldn't. I just know that I'm a different person to them with a different brain, so obviously I can't put my own thoughts and choices onto them. It's the same with people bringing up irrelevant injuries that them and their family members have had, and how them having to get surgeries was such an awful time, so therefore I must be having an awful time and be in so much pain as well. Yes, it was an intense process that involved a lot of bravery, especially getting it alone in a foreign country. But no, I was never laying there miserable, finding it hard to get through the day. I actually felt pretty positive throughout the whole process because I was so sure of myself and so confident in my decision. For you, maybe you would lay there and be miserable and hate your life, but not me, because we're two different people. And also people saying that it's bad for me to decide to get this surgery because they had an injury and had to get a surgery and that was really hard for them, so it's not fair. Me getting this surgery, that is just so silly. My surgery has no impact on your life. Me getting this surgery is not the reason you had a completely irrelevant injury in a different country to me. You obviously have your own frustrations about that and are looking for someone to blame. A lot of people in the comment section of that video had a victim mentality in that way. Anyway, this video is getting quite long for one of my videos, but yeah, those are some of my thoughts. And to clarify again, my leg is not in pain, it functions fine, the muscle is not gone, it's still there. This was not a horror surgery. I'm actually very pleased with my surgery and with my surgeon and how everything has gone. This is a normal, well-healed scar for ALT phalloplasty. If you don't like it, don't get it done, that's absolutely fine. I'm not forcing you to. But for me, I feel that I was well prepared and well suited for this surgery, and now I'm living a happy, pain-free life. If you do have any questions about phalloplasty, you can ask me. It's generally better to ask someone that actually has life experience with something instead of just making up assumptions in your head, because then they're probably not going to be true. I will leave a link or the title to Book Angel's video in the description so you can see what I was responding to. I don't have enough storage space on my iPad to download the whole thing and put it in here, and I'm not actually sure how to do that either, so